Okay, well, let's move on to another volunteer. What we've got here is a pop-up box that says sign up to our fortnightly newsletter. And again, as I said before, newsletter is not necessarily the right word for it, but it being a pop-up box that floats over the background of the website is a good thing, because you absolutely can't miss it. You can't visit the website unless you read that box or make it go away. It says find the best of everything in Malaga, which is great. Be the first to hear the latest about Malaga and the guide to Malaga, and you just have to give your email address. Now, what's interesting there is they're asking for even less information. This is from Joanna. Thanks, Joanna, for agreeing to be featured. And the less information you ask for, the more likely you are to get it. You're not going to get people giving you their name, full address, date of birth, inside leg measurement, mother's maiden name and everything. The more you ask for, the less likely you are to get it. So Joanna's just wanting email address. Again, I'd suggest changing the name of the button. And it might be you could combine the text here and abbreviate it, because expecting people to read all 3 bits and then the little small print, we guarantee 100% privacy, we will not share your details. That's fine. It's quite a lot to expect people to read at a glance. So really, if what they're going to get is find the 5 best of everything in Malaga, that's what they're going to get. You don't need to have this bit as well. You could really simplify it. 5 best of everything in Malaga with a fortnightly email. And that's all it needs to be. And that could say, yes, please. Now, the particular question that Joanna wanted me to answer was, how could she make her calls to action more compelling? So let's have a look. I'll have to scroll down to find a call to action. And here we have, underneath this book, Buy Now button. Now, the challenge with the Buy Now button is it's blue. It's the same blue as this header bar. And it's probably very natural that blue has been the color chosen for that Buy Now button, because it's one of the brand colors. However, if what you want people to do is buy that book and you're calling them to take that action, that button needs to stand out bigger and brighter and different from everything else. So it'd be better for that button to be on, I don't know, even if it has to be one of the house colors, then the orange, and make it as big as the Android and Apple Store buttons. Let me scroll down a bit more and find another call to action. In this copy, it does say download your copy now for just €4.95. It's not saying by clicking the button on the right, which is the next step. You have to make things really easy for people because everyone's too busy. I quite like the message here that you get everything you need to know about the most talked about city in Europe for less than the price of a mojito. It might be nice to even have a picture of a mojito and make it all about that, as well as giving the benefits more in bullet point form, range left. Oh, here we go. Yes, there's a call to action. Download yours for €4.95. And that's a clickable link. Let me check the other one, whether that was a clickable link. That one wasn't. Now, that confuses site visitors because all links need to be the same color and style. And that color and style is what's been used for headings. So I would change that into a button. Remember I said on the other site, buttons work better than text. So you would repeat that Buy Now or Android or Apple button link if that's the main thing that you want people to do. Now, these calls to action are quite good. Need to know more about the guide? Check out our FAQs. Got a question? Read our FAQs. Doesn't quite make sense that they both go to the same page, but the way that's been treated as a question and an answer is quite a good approach. Here's the App Store and the Google buttons, but the Buy Now button isn't there. And no, this one doesn't click. So for me, there's a bit of confusion. And right at the bottom of the page, contact us. Now this time, name, email, subject and message. I'm not sure you'd need a subject line for an online form. The send button, again, I'd suggest the color is different from that blue that gets a little bit lost. Find out about us and FAQs, and the email address. Email address isn't clickable. The social media buttons are. I'm not sure those are necessary in that place.
One thing I have a question on is The topic now is one-page web pages. Do you think that's, to me, they look more practical. And if you only want a web page that's simple and not too complicated, I think it's a very good choice. But what do you think about that?
You've got people viewing websites on a desktop or a laptop computer, and you've got people viewing websites increasingly on a mobile device, a tablet or an iPhone or an Android. Those scrollable websites where it's all on one page are easier to use on a mobile device. Mm-hmm. And the kind of websites with traditional navigation links across the top or down the left-hand edge, they're easier to view on a desktop or a laptop machine. What I have found is your analytics, your Google Analytics or whatever web stats you have on your website will tell you what percentage of your viewers look at your website on a mobile device. And my business as a copywriter, I work mostly with companies, and therefore I'm a business to business, B2B copywriter. And I find only 5% of my audience view my website on a mobile device. Now, it is responsive to a mobile device. It works perfectly fine, but it's not one of those scrollable designs. I have a client who's a personal trainer, and his audience, his business to consumer, when we looked at his analytics, we found 50% of people were viewing his old website on a mobile device. And yet at that time, his website wasn't mobile friendly. It was therefore very urgent, because those people that landed on his website on a mobile device were bouncing away immediately. They weren't staying to look at any of the pages because it didn't work well on a mobile device. So it was quite urgent for him to change it to one of those scrollable designs. Now, increasingly, people are seeing them as more modern and more elegant. I think one of the things that people fail to do with those scrollable sites is what I talked about when we looked at the EFT site for Claire just now, having a call to action that tells people to scroll down. So whether it's an arrow or some words or something that invites people to keep scrolling by telling them what they'll see next if they scroll down.
A button or a graphic or something that says go down, I think that's important. Sometimes you don't realize that you can actually scroll